Hello, thank you for joining me for this video. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia. I'm going away to a craft retreat, and one of the things that we do is shoebox swaps. So everybody designs a card, and then as it says, it goes into a box, and we pass the box around and everybody makes everybody else's cards and gives us lots of ideas. We get to play with new stuff that we may not have, and all in all it's just a really fun thing to do. So I'm going to show you my shoebox swap, and I love my card, if I say so myself, and I'm hoping that everybody that makes it is going to love it too. So it's gonna, okay, let's start and say it can actually stand, which of course is really awkward on camera. So it will stand, and then it opens up and you've got a happy birthday and a place to write your note. Let me show you the products that we're using. So it's all new products, things coming in the new catalogue. So starting off, we have the Boutique Blossom Suite, stamps and dies. For my sentiment, I'm going to use Balloon Festoon. That's also a bundle, but we're not using the dies that come with that one today. The DSP is part of that suite, and it's called Bloom Boutique, and it's all very little and very florally. So I don't have too much of that one left. These are my bits and pieces, all in the new in colours. So pretty colours, all soft. Pretty paper. Somebody said it looks like Granny's old bed sheets or tablecloths, but I love the little flowers, so I'm happy with those. We're going to be using new in colours. This one was with crisp cantaloupe. I'm going to change it for the one that we're making today, and we're going to use Golden Glow and Peaceful Pine. And then the one thing that I'm using, which is not new, is the Lazy Daisy embossing folder. Love this embossing folder. And old favourite, Everyday Arches dies. Okay, so let's get making this. It's one of those cards which looks really wow, if I say so myself, but once you get making it, it's actually super easy. So I'm going to start off here, and I'm going to score at 12 centimeters, 14 and a half, and 17. And if you're working in inches, it's going to be 4.5, 5.5, and 6.5 inches. So that's all. Oops, no, let's just not put this away for 1 second, because I have one more piece that needs to be scored, and I have already rounded the corners of this one, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. Let me just get all the scoring done. So this I'm scoring at 5 centimeters, or it would be 2 inches. Okay, and now we've got all the scoring done. Then what you're going to do is take your embossing folder, if you can remember where you put it, and we're going to emboss the one side up to that first score line, and then the other side up to the first score line. Okay, so we're just putting in like that, emboss, turn it over, emboss. So those middle scores I'm leaving not embossed, and I'm landing up with a piece like that. Now you can decide which way you want it. I like with the embossing popping out. So I'm going to fold that in half along the middle score line, so the sides that I want out facing each other. And then we're just going to fold up on each of those lines. Let's bring this back in so that you can see what we're working towards. Now, I said we're going to round this piece. I have an old corner rounder punch which I used. If you don't have a corner rounder punch, don't despair, you can still do it. What you would do is take your piece with unrounded corners and then take your designer series paper. Now with this piece of paper you just need to be careful because it is directional. So as soon as your paper's directional, you want one piece where you're rounding the top corner and one piece where you're rounding the bottom corner. Okay? That is important because otherwise you're going to have pieces standing on their heads. So, okay, we have somewhat of a problem over here because one of my pieces, this one, I've cut too small. So let me very quickly cut another one. Good thing I noticed that before we started. Okay, so like I said, just watch what you're doing. You want one piece with the top corners rounded, one piece with the bottom. So just let me quickly round those corners just so that they're all matching, and then I'll show you what you're doing if you don't have a corner rounder punch that you can quickly just go punch punch. You're going to take your pieces, and here remember we've got one upside down, one the right way, and I know that I'm stressing it, but it's because I have stuffed that one up before. So put your pieces together with those corners aligned, and then you're going to take anything with a round edge, so your smallest everyday arches dies, or you can take a small stylish circle or whichever and put it on your corner with the three pieces together. Take a pencil and just draw around that edge, keep them together and cut along your line, and then shift it over to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, and you can see why it was just easier for me not to do that on camera and cheat with the corner rounder punch before. Okay, now assembly, easy. We're going to fold along that score line, and I'm going to put glue on the inside of my fold here. And we're going to stick that onto the back of my card. At this stage it doesn't matter which one you use. Anyone can be the top and anyone can be the bottom. Once we're here it's going to make a difference, but for now it's all good. And then I'm going to stick my DSP on, and here's where I was stressing that one needs to be rounded on the top, because that's going on the inside, so that when it's flapped open my flowers are standing right way up, and this one's going on the outside so that when it's flapped closed my flowers are standing right way up. And then I've got 3 of these strips, so I'm taking 2 of them for now. And again, making sure my flowers are the right way. We're sticking one on here. And one on my other panel over here. Now, to cut the handle, you're going to take your largest and your third largest Everyday Arches dies and put them on your little piece of card like that. You can make this handle as thick as you want it, but just remember your sides are going to be a specific distance, so you want it sort of even, and cut those out so that you land up with a handle. Now, this is kind of important. When you're attaching your handle, have an envelope so that you can put your card down and just check that where you position your handle, it's going to fit into the envelope. It should be okay. I'm just not 100% sure with an imperial card, but definitely for metric my sizing works. If it's a little bit too long, just cut it down. But we wanted that when I've got my, oops, maybe give it time to stick. But when I've got my handle on, I want my card to fit into the envelope. Just see if I can move it over slightly just to get it even on the edges. And then once my handle's stuck on, oops, those are my flowery bits that are coming soon. We're going to stick this last piece of DSP so that it's covering the handles. And there's our bag from the front. Now we're going to stamp our insert. So this is the top one, and let me just grab, I should show you that these stamp pads are magnetic, so they will sort of stick together, which is nice. If you want to stack them, they're not going to fall over. If you're not stacking them, then they're not that magnetic that you can't pull them apart. They do pull apart easily. So I'm going to stamp my happy birthday in the center. Okay, I'll be happy with that. And then let's just open this one up so we can see what I'm doing. I'm going to stamp flowers into the corners. Oops, that smudged a little, but it'll be okay. And then for these inserts, well, colouring in the flowers, I don't know why I'm saying inserts, I like stamping off first, just so that it's not that dark inside. If you prefer it coloured in dark, then don't stamp off. You could stamp some leaves if you wanted to, but I'm not going to stamp any leaves inside. I'm going to keep it monochromatic inside. We will have some green leaves on the front. And then stick that onto the top. Just remember, you need to be quite generous with the glue because your back panel is pretty rough with the embossing. And then I have a little piece of DSP and a strip of my cardstock. That was just an offcut from when I was cutting down to size. So we're going to stick this on and watch your insert because it is slightly longer than it is wide. So you want to be sticking and stamping on the right alignment. And this is my old favorite trick where I just put a strip of DSP and a strip of the cardstock. And then we can decorate the front. So I have 2 flowers stamped exactly the same way as I stamped them on the inside, and just die cut, and I've got 3 leaves. So we're going to stick my flower something like that. So just be careful because you don't want glue on the pieces that are hanging over. And this is one of these ones where if you stamp it wrong, stamp it on a new piece of paper. You can't just turn over and stamp on the back because you will see some of that flower when you flip it over. And then we can add our leaves. Alright, now, oops, okay, that'll do. Here's where you have options. If you're happy with this, you can leave it like that. If you're not and you actually want it to hold closed, then just take an adhesive backed Velcro dot. Those are available at any craft store, and I always put them together so that I know that they're going to stay where I want them, that they lined up, and then we're just going to put that behind there and press it closed. And sorry, just had to run and go fishing for embellishments because I want my new in color embellishments. These are the in color dots, and this time I'm just going to take the golden glow ones and stick them inside my flower. And there we have it. My card is done. So you can see that that was really easy, but I've done these in a class and the ladies all love them because they are super cute. So have fun, make those, share them with me when you do, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.